Hey, what is up out there in YouTube land? This is Jeremy with UPPERCUT Productions. I'm back with part 3 of this mixing series that I'm doing for the song Stop and Rise by Perpetual Escape. I'm doing this just for fun and educational purposes and to show how I use Reaper. If you want to learn more about how I do things or just want to watch and see how I do things, then welcome. Give me a like and a sub. It'd be awesome. So we've been mixing this song and we've got a static mix here. Let's dive into the DAW and I'll show you what we got. Here we are in the mix. I'm just going to let it play for a little bit, and this is just a static mix. The only thing on this is really amp sims. Basically it's just panning and volume. As you can see, I've got everything in buses. It's pretty well set up. Now we can kind of start getting our channel strips on all the tracks. So with that, I like to mix with channel strips. It's kind of a thing. It's just how I like to do things. I'm going to show you how I add a channel strip to a bunch of tracks all at once in Reaper. My channel strip of choice is the Slate's VMR Virtual Mix Rack. So what I do is I highlight all the tracks that will eventually have a channel strip, and then I control click to unselect all of my buses, because that'll be a whole different thing. This is the setup for the individual channels. Okay, and then I will install Virtual Mix Rack, and this is my basic channel strip. It's just shaving everything at 35 on every track, and it's on the Brit 4KE and the SSL model EQ. And that is what I put on just about every track. So now I will unhighlight the kick track and bring this into view. And on my system, if I push Control Insert, it should insert this exact channel strip on all the tracks I have highlighted. But yeah, there we go. Now we have that same basic track setup on all of my tracks. The way to set that up is to go to your Actions menu, and I'll show you where it is. It is a Lure script. You go to RIA script and Google it, download all the free RIA scripts. They are awesome. This one is in the Lua script, LUA. It is insert focused effect to the selected tracks, preserving the parameters, meaning that you could set an EQ on it any way you wanted and add it to a bunch of tracks all at once. So that's how you set that up in Reaper in the actions list. So now I'm going to do the opposite and highlight all the bus tracks. Right. We'll unselect this first one, drag over this channel strip, and as you can see, I have a bus setting right here, which is the SSL 4KE bus setting. On this one, I'm going to just leave the no, this is just default. So now that I have that in focus, I can use that Lua script and push Control Insert, and it should put this exact setting on all of my buses. And boom, there we go. As you can see, it's on them all. Also, I add Virtual Mix Rack to my master bus, and I have a master setting right here that is just all the EQs I like on my master, and just a little bump at 8K, another little bump on the top of each one of these, 12K. I take out -2 at 4K, but I'm going to take that off and just leave it flat. I got 1 on lift on the bottom, 2 on lift on the top, so I probably won't even need some of this, but we'll work that out later. And that's also the Brit 4KE going through a trimmer. and I like the virtual mix bus rack. I'll put my master compression at release at really fast, slow attack. I like mine at 2. Let's give this a listen. And then down here I leave the Verimue on, but I don't compress anything. I just use the circuitry that they've modeled through this, because I'll toggle it on and off. It's just adds an awesome vibe to almost anything. And after that, I will get some saturation with a free plugin from Air Windows called 2Tape 5. It is my favorite analog emulation of a tape emulation. I haven't found anything better, and this is free. And after that, I'm going to add another free plugin from Air Windows called Add Clip 7. It is a mastering limiter, but if you just put it on stock, you will never clip your master bus. Just leave it just like this, and it really won't do anything except guarantee you don't clip. Okay, also I have added my effects rack, which is what I use on all my mixes. It is 3 reverbs and 3 delays. I have a plate reverb, a room reverb, a vocal reverb, a 1/4-inch delay stereo, 1/4-inch delay mono, and a throw, which is a half delay, and the 2 sides are kind of offset. So I've also decided not to use the MIDI drums on this at all and just go au naturel. So I'm going to delete the MIDI drums. And I like to choose either the amp sound or the DI sound on bass. I don't ever really use both, because it could cause low phase issues and weird stuff. So to me, it's pick one or the other and go with it. So I'm picking the DI track here, so I'm going to delete the bass amp sound. And the rest I have basically just, I threw amp sims on here that sounded good in the moment and just went with it. I will probably tweak those later. I have all the vocals split up into buses. I have everything ready to go. I have my effects rack on here. This is when I would actually start mixing. For instance, on the snare, I know I'm going to want a plate delay. So you just add a send to the plate and then adjust it to taste. I love lustrous plates because it's a delay that has dynamics built in that'll duck the reverb. So if there's a bunch of fast snare drums, it doesn't overpower. All right. So just adding that one plate reverb to the snare, we'll see how that sounds in the mix. For instance, on this acoustic, could add my room delay. So now what I would go do is give it another listen and go through on every individual tracks and do some high passing and low passing, and that would be the next static mix. This would be, I guess, an adjustment. I do kind of half and half. I do a static mix before I add anything, and then I add all of my stuff that I know I'm going to use, and then I rebalance. So I'll do that and come back and check it out in the next episode. This is Jeremy at Uppercut. Get knocked out, baby.